awesome.
So welcome everyone to our HETS Zoom training. This will be one of 4 today and tomorrow. Thank you all for your flexibility and your perseverance, and we will pray that we have good internet signals today. Before we do introductions, a few Zoom ground rules. Give me 1 second. So these are guidelines for large groups, which we have today. We will have at least 50, maybe 70 or 80. All participants other than presenters will be on mute, including those on the phone. It's unfortunate because we like it to be interactive, but typically there's going to be someone that's going to have feedback. So the default will be that only the presenters will be unmuted while they're presenting. However, you can ask questions or provide comments different ways. There is the chat option. Most of you may have found the chat. It's at the bottom. Typically, it'll be at the bottom of your Zoom screen. And the default will be to chat to everyone, which is fine. Either Governor Sonny or I will see that chat, and we will read your question to the presenter. The other option is what's called raising hands. The easiest way to find raising hands is at the bottom of your Zoom window, there's likely going to be something called Manage Participants. That's where you can see the participant list. And at the bottom right of that Manage Participants window is a place where you can click on Raise Your Hand. So it'll look to us like you've raised your hand, meaning you've got a question to ask. Again, either Sonny or I will acknowledge that you've got a question. We'll call on you. We'll unmute you. You'll ask your question, and we will lower your hand. So either the chat or raise hands will work. If you're on the phone, neither of those will work because you're not on a computer. But if we are fairly quiet, we'll try to have you unmute so you can ask your question. If you are having internet problems, which may happen, please feel free to log out and then call in. At least that way you can still hear the discussion, if not see the materials. We will not be having breaks during each of the 1.5 hour to 2 hour blocks. So at any time, please feel free to get up, stretch, go get something to eat. Please feel free to roam around the cabin. To minimize feedback, if you are speaking and you happen to have both video on your computer and a phone line for audio, so some of you may have done that where you were actually logged in twice. Just make sure that your microphone and speakers are turned off on your computer, otherwise we'll hear all that feedback. And finally, this is an official Rotary meeting, but we don't have a sergeant at arms to fine you if you're not wearing a Rotary pin. Instead, we will place you in a 5-minute Zoom timeout room. Which we actually have the ability to do, right, Bruce? We can do that.
Oh, Jeff, you didn't tell me about that.
No, I didn't. That was just a last-minute idea. We will have fun, and we will try to make this as interactive as possible. Any questions about these guidelines? Again, we've got a lot of people to manage, so please bear with us.
Questions, comments? No?
No, looking good.
All right.
Jeff, could we ask some people to turn the lights on in their room? We can't see.
If you're sitting in the dark and it's not deliberate, turn on a light.
That could be by design. I would not know.
John Morrison can leave his off.
Very
okay.
nice.
What we're going to do is we're going to have everyone introduce themselves, and we're going to use kind of the way that we're set up in this gallery view, and we'll call on people to introduce yourself, your name, your club, and your role. And so we may not know if you have a phone number, we may not know who it is. So if we say, who's on 575, whatever, please go ahead and introduce yourself. Let's start with Marjo.
Marjo Skiles, Marfa, Texas, President-elect.
Welcome, thank you. And I am Jeff Weinrack, and I am a district trainer for Governor Sonny from Albuquerque del Sol. Patty Collins.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Patty Collins. I am the president-elect of the Hobbs Rotary Club.
Thank you. Dick Jones.
He's on mute.
Yeah, good morning. Dick Jones, Santa Fe operations chair for Governor-elect Sonny, and I'm glad to be here this morning.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Governor.
I'm Sunny Kellerman from the Rotary Club of Silver City. I have the honor of being your governor starting July 1st. And who is iPad right next to Patty Collins?
Might be me, Jim Bird.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
And what club are you with?
Moriarty.
And your incoming president?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Thank you. Frank.
Frank Rivera, Rio Rancho Rotary Club, and also an AG.
Thank you. Patrick.
Patrick Saravia, President-elect for the Northeast El Paso Rotary Club.
Thank you. Bruce.
Good morning, everybody. Bruce Bortner, Del Sol Club in Albuquerque. I am the district trainer for sitting Governor Gary King.
Thank you, Bruce. Okay, we have a phone number 712-314-7282.
That belongs to me. I'm Alan Bash from Sandia Rotary in Albuquerque.
Hi, Alan. Thank you.
On this one.
Bob Barnard. Bob Barnard, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Bob Barnard, president-elect nominee for Las Cruces Rio Grande Club.
Awesome, thank you. Next, we have a Bob, but I don't have a last name.
That was Bob Entrop.
Hi, Bob Entrop. Here I am. Bob Entrop, incoming president, Roswell Pecos Valley Rotary Club.
Excellent, thank you. And then we have, it just says Gabino.
This is Gavino Tavera from Camino Real Rotary Club in El Paso. I'm the president-elect.
Awesome, thank you very much. Bob Roche.
Hi, Bob Roush from Albuquerque del Norte. I'm the district governor nominee, and I'll be the district governor elect here in the next couple months.
Thank you, Bob. Dan Garrison.
Dan Garrison from Los Lunas, member of the training team.
Thank you. Steve Westenhofer.
Yes, Steve Westenhofer, Deming Club, going to be an assistant governor.
Excellent, thank you. And I do have to usually do last names because we have so many people that there may be some with the same first name. Tim Sexton.
Good morning, everyone. I apologize for no video. My camera is acting up on my computer. Sorry about that. I'm the assistant governor-elect for the Northeast region, member of the Raton Rotary Club.
Awesome, thank
Good
you.
to have you, Tim.
Ed Robertson.
Yes, Ed Robertson, president-elect Albuquerque del Sol.
Thank you, Ed. Laura Gonzalez.
Hi, I'm Laura Gonzalez. I'm the president-elect for Los Alamos.
Thank you, Laura. Fred, with not a last name.
Ed Pomeroy, president-elect Los Lunas.
Awesome, thank you.
Hey, Fred.
Michael Moore. And can't hear you, Michael.
This is Michael. I'm Michael Moore, Mexico, and I'm the president-elect.
Got it, thank you. And looks like Jimmy.
This is Michael from.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Okay. Looks like Jimmy Melver.
Yes, this is Jimmy
I'm
Malver.
the president of Melbourne.
Oh, sorry.
Jeff, this is Jimmy Melver in El Paso, member of the Northeast Rotary Club. This would be my 10th year as an AG.
Thank you for your service.
And be happy.
Yes, sir. Eileen.
I'm Eileen Comstock. I'm the president-elect for Socorro Rotary Club.
Thank you.
Great.
Renee Canton.
Yes, this is Renee Canton. Sorry about my video. I'm trying my other computer as we speak. I am from the TRC Rotary Club and currently moving up north somewhere, and the District Rotary Leadership Institute coordinator. So welcome, everybody.
Thank you, Renee. Bianca.
Bianca Cheney, even though it says JP right there, I don't know how to change it. I'm from Roswell Rotary Club, newly elected to the board, so I'm really excited to be attending this training.
Thank you. Let's see. Okay, Marjo, did we get you already?
We did get Marjo.
Okay,
Yes.
Brenda.
Good morning, Brenda Waters from the Angel Fire Rotary Club. I'm the president-elect.
Excellent, thank you. My screen is shifting. Stephanie.
Good morning, everyone. I am Stephanie Hale with the Rotary Club of Alamogordo.
Excellent, thank you. John Morrison.
John Morrison, Rotary Club, and I'm on the district membership committee.
Thank you. Leah.
Leah Jordan, Las Cruces Rotary Club. I'm the Lieutenant Governor-elect for Governor Sunny.
Thank you. Scott Stafford.
Good morning, everyone. Scott Stafford with the Albuquerque Del Norte Club and Governor Central Region.
Thank you, Scott. Patrick.
You already got me, but Patrick Sarabia, El Paso Northeast Rotary Club.
The screen shifts occasionally, sorry. Ron Hensley.
Good morning, everyone. Ron Hensley from Albuquerque, Del Sol, AG next year. Glad to be able to talk to people. This is pretty nice.
This is
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you.
Robert Hockaday.
Robert Hockaday, president-elect for Tucumcari Rotary Club.
Okay, the next
Robert,
one,
you prefer Robert or Bobby?
Most of the time it's Bobby because my dad's Bob and he's the previous president of Tucumcari Rotary Club.
Okay, thank you.
So the next one is this string of letters and numbers, D5, J7, etc. Do you know who? Is that Jim?
I don't know why that's up there like that. Jim Hatcher. I guess it's because I'm always in the dark. This membership chair.
Hi, Jim.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hilarious.
Jessica Ansures.
Good morning, everybody. Jessica, I am the president-elect of the Carlsbad Rotary Club.
Thank you. Jen Dresser.
Hi, everybody. Jen Dresser. I'm the president-elect from Albuquerque Metro.
Thank you, Jen. Tony Pino.
Good morning, everybody. Tony Pino. I'm the LG from the Central Action Team. Good morning.
Thank you, Tony. Dawn Bourgeois. I can't hear your audio.
023, your radio check.
It's on mute. Okay, go ahead. Your audio may be low, but you're not muted. So we can't hear you. Can you? Sorry, we'll come back.
We'll try again later.
It says Yolanda King, but it looks like our Governor Gary King.
Good morning. Yeah, Yolanda was using my computer this morning, so I've got the same problem as somebody else. But yeah, Gary King, I'm the outgoing district governor, and happy to be handing off to all of you guys. This is pretty exciting to see everybody on the computer. This is the biggest Zoom call I've been on, so thanks.
Here.
Thank you, Gary. Kevin Long.
Good morning, everybody. Kevin Long, president of the Rotary Club of East El Paso.
Thank you, Kevin. Rose Contreras Taylor.
18 of Ace Radio, check.
Hi, this is Rose.
Hi, Rose.
Hi.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a great day. 18 days.
Folks, we're going to ask again, if you're not speaking, to mute your devices, please.
Yeah. I'm Rose Contreras, and I'm from the Las Vegas Rotary. I'm vice president there.
Awesome, thank you. And then we have a Steve, but I don't have a last name.
Good morning. It's Steve Johnson with the Rotary Club of Santa Fe Centro, and I'm an AG.
Excellent. Thank you, Steve. Buffy.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi there, Buffy Johnson. I'm the president-elect of the Las Cruces Grant.
Thank you. We have someone, it says iPhone.
That might be me.
Yeah.
I'm Susanna Hallmark, president-elect from the Rotary of West El Paso.
Hi, Suzanne. Thank you.
Good morning.
Sandy Roush.
Hi, good morning. It's Sandy. I'm president-elect of the Albuquerque Del Sol Club. I'm sorry, Del Norte. Hey, wait.
Dawn, let's try you again.
Take you. We'll take you.
Still can't hear you. Sorry. We'll keep trying. Yoster.
Yoster, he was here.
He's here. Can't hear you either.
Here we go. How's that?
Yes.
Good morning. This is Yasser, Rotary Club of El Paso.
Thank you. Marcia Beatty. Marcia?
Actually, Marcy, I believe.
Oh, it says.
Yes. Marcy, you there?
She's on mute.
Oh, okay.
All right, let me keep going. Marshall.
Yeah, Marshall Poole from the Rotary Club of Las Vegas. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Christina Martinez.
I'm Christina from the White Sands Rotary Club in Alamogordo, president-elect.
Thank you. Debbie Cox.
This is Debbie Cox. I'm the Lieutenant Governor for the Northern New Mexico Action Area.
Thank you, Debbie.
Thanks, Debbie.
Bart Roselli.
Yes, this is Bart. Sorry there's no image. The lights are on in my office, but I've got an old computer and no camera or mic. But I'm the president-elect from Silver City, and if you want, you could imagine sort of a somewhere between Robert Redford and Brad Pitt look.
Thanks, Bart.
Patty Collins.
We got her first.
Got Patty? Okay. We have a phone number 575-366-6356.
That's Leo Lovett, President-elect of Clovis.
Hi, Leo. How are you?
I'm well, thanks.
We have Veronica with not a last name. Okay, not sure who that is. Is there anyone that I missed?
Dawn and Kathy Fuller.
Oh, Kathy's on. Kathy?
Good morning, Kathy Fuller, and I'm going to be working with Renee Canton with the Rotary Leadership Institute. Looking forward to that.
Awesome. Thank you. Dawn, should we give it a try?
Dawn.
I think you also missed me.
I'm sorry?
You missed me. I'm Alina Erickson from Farmington Rotary Club.
Oh, sorry, Elena. The screen was moving, so I missed it. I apologize.
That's all right.
And Jeff, Dawn Bourgeois is back with a picture.
And can we hear her?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, yay. Okay, I'm here.
from the Rotary Club of?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm President-elect of the San Juan Rotary Club, San Juan County.
Okay, Kathy, please unshare your screen, I think. Kathy?
You missed me.
Go
You
ahead.
missed me.
Go ahead.
Jerry Pike from Grants Milan.
Hi, Jerry.
President-elect. And I'd stay on, but I've got 60 kids that want their lunches, and I got to take off my bus room for that, so we'll be on this afternoon.
Okay.
Understood. Thank you.
And Jeff, this
Reg
is,
Ryder.
Yeah, I'm here. Reg Ryder with the Albuquerque Rotary Club. I'm currently the district treasurer for this year and for Sunny.
Thank you, Reg. Is there anyone else that we missed? Okay.
Wow.
Thank you very much. We have a really nice turnout, and at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Governor-elect Sunny.
Thank you, Jeff. Everyone hear me okay? Nod. Thank you. The hat is just an attempt to make this fun. It doesn't mean anything. I'm going to wear a different hat for every session. But I wanted to welcome you. Thank you for being here. This is Plan B, pets. We had hoped to be together in person, Ruidoso. This is the next best thing. In fact, I think we probably have even better attendance this way than we might have had we been together. I was reading a post from UNICEF this morning, and it said something I thought was really pivotal and pertinent, which I want to share with you. They said that the past few weeks have been scary for all of us, and whatever you're experiencing, you can bet that you're not alone, which is probably pretty wise. The recommendation, which I think I will echo, is that maintaining a sense of community, practicing kindness, and finding ways to serve people in need is the best way to keep us all feeling connected and strong. So with that in mind, welcome. And I especially welcome those of us on our call who are past district governors. Dan Garrison and Dick Jones, I believe, are the ones we have with us. And Gary King, the president governor. Welcome, Gary. I want to begin by sharing with you a little bit of context about Rotary, which was shared with me in San Diego in January when I attended International Assembly. For those of you who don't know what that is, every governor-elect gets trained for a solid week. We had 539 governors from around the world. This was right before everything got closed down. And in those sessions, we had 2 plenary sessions, 2 breakout sessions, 3 meals, and a social event every day for the week. We learned a lot. So this is from, and Jeff, maybe you can share Holger's picture at this point. Our president, Rotary International president-elect Holger Knacht, who is from Germany, the first president-elect from Germany. Some of you have heard me call him a heart with legs. I think he will be one of our most beloved Rotary International presidents. And every one of us, I think you're going to get a picture of him in a minute.
Come on, computer. Here we go.
Every one of us had our picture taken with Holger and his wife, Suzanne. And that is me with Harry, my husband, and who will be first gentleman in a few months. So Holger had this to say, which I wanted to share with you. He said, first of all, we are at a crucial moment in the history of Rotary, and I think we all can kind of sense. We are closing in on the fulfillment of our signature project, which is bringing about the end of polio, a promise we've made to the children of the world. We have more global grants than ever. Our 36,000 clubs have contributed in cash to our communities in the last year $1.15 billion US, and about 800 million in the value of the hours we have spent in service. That's probably a low estimate because we're not always good about reporting that. We are one of the greatest organizations or forces for good in the world today. And we have much to be proud of. And at the same time, we can't rest on our laurels. We are in changing times, as you know. And that was true even before all of this hit. Even while we are recognized for what we've done, we have much more to do, and we will want to do it with greater impact and with greater visibility than ever. Holger made the comment that technology is affecting us more harshly than we originally anticipated, and that we are not going to let rapid change defeat us. We're committed to becoming more strong, more adaptable, and even more aligned with our core values. He suggested that what draws people to Rotary, this is not new, I don't think, to any of us, is friendship, service, and networking. And we will want to be more nimble, more flexible, more innovative than ever to reach the next generations, because they are not going to sit patiently through traditional Rotary meetings necessarily. His suggestion is twofold. One is let the younger people tell us what they want the Rotary experience to look like. You know, I think the suggestion is that we will be forming unique clubs for younger members, that we will be meeting the needs of younger generations. We'll be focusing even more on the environment. We'll be focusing even more on service and fellowship. And perhaps we will not be doing as many traditional meetings, at least not in every single club. He also suggested that we choose our members carefully, because we are choosing lifelong friends. And we do not want to sandwich someone into a club that doesn't fit their needs. So let's be particular and make sure that we know what people are after and that we send them to the clubs that will make a difference for them. Just a couple more things. The vision for Rotary is about growing Rotary. Jeff, do you have the Grow Rotary poster? We have so many things to share with you.
I will bring it up.
Okay. While you're doing that, I will say, Holger said we're held together by the values we share, the four-way test, our friendship, meaningful and sustainable service projects that are completed and performed by us. Those are the glue that holds us together regardless of the kind of club we have. He made the point that we're creating new pathways to leadership for everyone, and every act of service creates opportunities for others and for ourselves. This is the zone poster on the challenge to grow Rotary. Grow Rotary has become our theme for Mark Maloney's year and beyond. And it means everything you would think it would mean and more. It's not just about growing bigger numbers. It's not even just about giving more to the foundation, but it's growing in every aspect, growing our own experience of Rotary for ourselves and our clubs, growing our visibility, growing the ubiquitousness of our brand, growing outward and upward, everywhere you can see to grow. Holger said, and this is my favorite quote of his, Rotary is not just a club you can join. It's an invitation to endless opportunities to live a richer and more meaningful life with friends from around the world who share our core values. So we are inviting people to opportunities, and The theme for this year, this coming year, under Holger's governor or leadership, is Rotary opens opportunities. Do we have one? We have the slide that Marshall created, yes?
Yep.
There it is. There's our logo. Rotary opens opportunities, endless opportunities. We need only be watching out for them. So that's the message from Holger, and I'm going to have some requests for you from him later, probably at the end of our time together on tomorrow afternoon. But I wanted to just emphasize that our challenge now is to be nimble and adaptive, to be creative, to be looking for the opportunities to connect and serve even as we sit at home, and to stay relevant for the 21st century. Does anyone have any comments or questions at this point? Okay. In that case, oh, by the way, every district governor's invited to have a sub-theme. You know, we have the theme for Rotary, Rotary opens opportunities, and Grow Rotary, and the district theme for 2020, 2021, it's a little bit of a pun, is Let's Grow. So it won't be hard to remember. Let's grow, let's go, let's make things happen while we are on Zoom and in every other way we find to make a difference. Jeff, can you pull up Rotary's vision statement and the strategic plan, please?
Yes.
Some of you will have already seen this. This, I think, this is brand new this year. Rotary has spent a lot of time and gotten a lot of feedback from people around the world to come up with this. The vision statement, it's worth reading. Together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe in our communities and in ourselves. That really does say it all, don't you think? We see a world where people unite, people of action. Rotarians are people of action. And inside this vision statement, we have 4 priorities, 4 strategic priorities, and here they are. To increase our impact, expand our reach, enhance an engagement, and increase our ability to adapt. Each of these is pivotal, and each of them embraces really everything that we will be doing. So we will, as impactful as we've been so far, we will increase our impact. And that includes fulfilling on the promise to eradicate polio, having our programs and offerings have even greater focus, and improving our ability to achieve and measure impact. Community assessments, community measures. We are not just doing projects for the sake of projects, we are making them make a difference.
Sonny, if I can interject just for a second.
Yes.
It is so helpful that our parent organization came up with this, because at the club level, as we're going through our planning and our prioritizing, we should think about these 4 pillars and just say, you know, how are we increasing our impact and expanding our reach? And it may be different than other clubs, but this kind of provides a nice roadmap or framework for which we think about our success as a Rotary Club.
Thank you, Jeff. Very well put. We're all invited to use these as we do our own strategic planning. And at the same time, Holger expressed his hope that every club will participate in assisting us in ending polio. We're so close, and we're on the cusp, and we need everyone to keep going, because we've made a promise and we intend to keep it. In terms of expanding our reach, we want to be especially creative about reaching out to people who either haven't heard of Rotary, don't know really what Rotary is, or don't realize the extent to which being a part of Rotary can leverage their own time, money, and commitments. So John Morrison, who's on this call, is taking on the post of Extension Chair. We will be creating new clubs this year. They will be, in some cases, very different looking from the clubs we already have. We can now be much more flexible. We'll talk more about club types later on, but our reach is really limitless. And there are a lot of people who belong with Rotary who aren't yet aware of that fact. So we have some opportunities. Looking to see if there's anything else to say about that. Oh yes, just that Holger made the point that there's no wrong age to join Rotary. So the field is open. Enhancing our engagement. This is going to look different in different cases, but really we want to be looking to see how to have our clubs be ever more interesting, fun, engaging, and service-oriented. So, not everything is going to work for every person, and not all clubs will do the same things. But use the club health checklist, use the member survey to find out what your members want in a Rotary Club and make that happen. And then increasing our ability to adapt, to innovate, to invent would be ever more important. We don't know, any of us, what the next 3, 6, 9 months are going to look like. We do know that Rotary has work to do even in these troubled times. So we want to find the ways to stay connected and to stay of service while we are doing what we're doing at home, including learning to make bread. That's everything I was going to say about that. Have any more to interject?
Any questions, comments, feedback from the group?
What do you think of it? Is it useful? You're allowed to speak. You're invited to speak. Otherwise this becomes a lecture, and that can be deadly.
This is Patty.
Very useful.
Patty, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. There's two. I can't see everybody, so I don't know who's
Jeff,
talking.
can we have our group back, please?
I definitely appreciate this. I think it's going to be useful.
Thanks, Patty.
Thank you.
Sunny, this is Kathy. I also see an opportunity then in working with John, if we're looking at creating new clubs, offering Rotary Leadership Institute opportunities and for new members, new clubs. And as you and I worked together with Rio Grande Academy before, we know how valuable it is in creating friendships and just learning more about each other. And I'm looking forward to some great opportunities.
Thank you, Kathy.
Laura Gonzalez has her hand raised. Laura, go ahead.
Hi. So I think this is really good, but I think it would also be nice during our training to have a little bit of an opportunity to learn how, during the types of times we're having right now, similar to us having this Zoom meeting, we could have resources available to our club. Our club, has temporarily suspended meetings, except we have our Wednesday club, which we already also do on teleconference and video conference. And I'm just wondering, are there tools available to us during this time that we can start bringing this sense of community back together for our clubs? And what would you guys suggest?
Thank you. Great point. We'll make sure to share some of those.
And let's see, I think tomorrow or later today when we have our session on effective club and board meetings, we're going to have an opportunity to talk about how to use kind of these online resources so that we can still function even if we cannot congregate. So we'll give some examples and talk about how to use platforms like this to kind of keep the clubs moving forward. We have a couple of chat comments. Sunny, I'll go ahead and read them. One is from Bob Barnard. These pillars are especially important as we work through the COVID-19 and the rebuilding of our economy. Very true.
Jeff,
yes.
Ron Hensley, Jen Dresser and Ron Hensley both want to speak.
Okay, let's go ahead and do the hand. Let's finish the chats.
Okay.
Just a couple and then we'll get to the raising. From Yasser, this is excellent, serves as a guide in consideration of our club's goals. Very true. And from Bob Barnard, we need to plan what the new barriers for people to continue membership or join as new members. Right, this is going to be very important for our membership. Let's see, Ron, you raised your hand.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. In our last Rotary magazine, there is an article in there about a membership status. I think it was called community service members, and they weren't. You guys, can you elaborate on that a little bit later and how that may work?
We will. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And
probably tomorrow morning when we talk about our essential elements.
Right.
Jen.
Thanks. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that my club was able, we're a smaller club, so it's a little bit easier to manage and get a free Zoom account, but we were able to meet and keep some club business going, like talking about our goals for the year. As I was president-elect, I wanted to get their feedback. So just wanted to share that I'm sure this is a paid Zoom account, but the free Zoom account works well also.
It does indeed.
It does. Anytime you're going to have a meeting of what, under 40 minutes, is that right, Jeff?
Right. But typically what people do if they have a free account is when they get close to 40 minutes, they say, okay, everyone hang up and we'll reconvene, and then the 40-minute clock starts again. So it's not that tough.
And actually, I don't know if they're still doing it, but for our meeting, because of all this COVID stuff, Zoom extended the time. So we didn't have to do that for ours. But.
Oh, excellent. We didn't know that.
Excellent. We have a question from Elena Erickson. Any age can join the Rotary Club. What about Interact and Rotaract?
Rotaractors can belong to regular Rotary clubs. Interact is still its own distinction, but definitely a part of Rotary.
Right.
And in some cases, there is even early act, I believe, which is grade school. Am I right, Jim Hatcher? Jim may have stepped away. You can check out Early Act online, and if you need more information, we'll get it to you.
Yeah, this is Dick Jones.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Jim.
Just ask the question again, please. I'm sorry.
Early Act is grade school?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Grade school.
And can you provide people with information about that if they're interested?
Yeah, probably. Is anybody interested?
We don't know yet. We're inventing in this new era.
You're inventing. So, okay. Well, just get in touch with me. I'd be more than okay.
Thank you. Dick, did you want to say something also?
Yeah, just that we have had a couple of groups that do the Early Act, and they've been very successful. They typically will get together and do a Christmas project or something, and then go away. I mean, in grade school, their attention span is not that great, not much greater than a past district governor's, but they do have fun during that time, and it starts to build that sense of community and service. So it's a good way, particularly if you're trying to attract younger members, to give them something for their kids to do and to tie it in and create a family affair.
That's a very nice point. Thank you. I
Sonny,
think
we have
just to say,
I'm sorry.
For all of us now, as we stay at home more and more, when we get tired of making bread, we want to make a difference in people's lives even here. So we're going to be looking for ways to do that. And maybe it's planning things at Christmas, you know, when we can be safe about it, but it may also be finding a way to get food or critical supplies to people in need, even as we shelter.
Sonny, we have a chat question from Laura. What was the name of the person to get in contact with for Early Act? I'm assuming that's Jim Hatcher?
Jim Hatcher, our district membership chair.
Right. And he's waiting.
Middle
And said,
school.
is that also for middle school?
There is something for middle school. I can't remember if that's what it's called. Do you remember, Dick or Jim? We will find out. This is still pretty new for our district, but we will find out. Thank you, Laura. Great question.
Okay.
Jeff?
Yes.
That middle school is also Interact. Interact is middle school through high school.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
And Sarah Robinson is also someone to contact.
Yes.
Yes. Everyone,
Since
you'll
she
meet
is youth
Sarah.
chair.
You'll meet Sarah tomorrow morning. She is our youth programs chair now, Sarah Robinson.
Yep. Sonny, should we move to the district plan?
Let's do that. Bob Roush, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. I'm just unmuted.
Welcome back. Will you walk us through our district strategic plan, please?
Absolutely, I'd love to. Jeff, do you have a slide of those? Oh, there you go. Okay, good. And so in support of the international pillars that we just saw last fall, the district leadership under Sunny's leadership herself met to come up with district goals that support the 4 pillars you just saw. And the concept is that instead of every year, every governor having their own goals, that we have a continuum of goals that every governor supports and moves forward with. And we review those on an annual basis and add to and subtract and see how we're doing on those goals. So it's a process of moving the district forward through the years with every governor and his or her administration supporting those goals and helping those move forward. And we've encouraged the presidents to do the same with their goals. Instead of having their own specific one-year goal, is have a strategic plan for your club, and every president, as they come and go, supports that plan and modifies and adds to it. Excuse me. So when we got together, we actually came up with 7 strategic goals in our plan. And so I want to go over those. Some of these are very internal to the district. Some of them will be supported by the clubs as well. First one is to cultivate a culture of kindness and respect based on the 4-way test. Very important that we have Rotary be a pleasant place to be, where everybody respects everybody else and grows within ourselves. And so that's what this is. This goal is to promote. And every goal, it has to be able to be measured. And the way we'll do that is on a regular basis. We will conduct surveys and also maybe even some 360-degree reviews to see how the club leadership and the district leadership feels that we are actually moving forward and increasing our culture of kindness and respect. We'll reinforce this through through the AGLG and training and in our pet sessions to promote this. We want to make sure people think about maybe, and I used to think of the 4-way test as sort of a filter for me. Before I talk or I email or I speak, or I say, well, would this pass the 4-way test? And I think a lot of times Rotary is like church. You know, we go to church and we hear the good words and we feel pious, and then we leave, and then we revert back to our old selves again. And I think Rotary meetings a lot of times are like that. Most of us recite the four-way test and we say, yeah, that's great, but then it's really tough to live by the four-way test all the time. But I think that if we really try to do that, we will certainly be increasing our kindness and respect within Rotary. Does anybody have any comments on this? I'll just ask for comments as we go along instead of going back.
Amen.
Any questions, Jeff?
I'm sorry?
Any questions coming in or any chats?
Nope.
Someone said amen, and I want to say that too. I just want to make the comment that I think Rotarians in general are the kindest and most extraordinary people we know, for the most part. There are many who aren't Rotarians who are also wonderful people. I do think sometimes we get passionate about something or so focused on producing a result that we forget to be kind in the moment. So this is about taking whatever kindness we've summoned to date and taking it to another level.
It also is challenging at times to focus on kindness and respect when we're under a lot of stress like we are now. So it's even more important for us to think about that as we're dealing with the day-by-day grind that we're going through, that we still want to keep that same kindness and respect.
Thank
you. Okay, Jeff, we can move on to number 2 now. Thanks. Pardon my coughing. It's not Corona, but I've had sort of a cough going on here the last week or so. I just took some cough medicine before I got started. Okay, so number 2, create and effectively manage our knowledge assets. And these could be things like our bylaws, and something we're working on right as we speak is our manual policies and procedures. We want to make those living documents that we can change as necessitated by circumstances, and continue to grow and improve on those. And that's all done. That's pretty much an internal thing within the district. But we will always try and make sure that our governing documents are appropriate and help us run the district and support the clubs. Sonny, you want to expand on that, or anybody else?
I think it's pretty self-explanatory. There's a lot of stuff to it, and some of it a little bit dry, but in general, not just about making sure we've archived everything appropriately, but that we can find it when we need it.
Bob, this is Jeff. So along the lines of this objective, that's one of the reasons we made a lot of the materials for this PETS training available to all of you through our Club Runner district website. And hopefully we'll be able to use that more throughout the next year so that we all have access to those key documents. Some of them are on the homepage, but a lot of them are not. So even the use of Club Runner for training like this is kind of part of this notion of our knowledge assets.
Yeah, Club Runner's got a lot of nice features, and one of them is that we can hang a lot of these training materials right there on Club Runner for everybody to be able to get to at their leisure and when appropriate. And Jeff's been very diligent at doing that, and he's been very patient with me on showing me how to access that. I'm very digitally challenged.
We can keep them up to date more readily as well.
This is true. This is true. Okay, any other comments or questions? Okay, let's go on to number 3, Jeff. Our goal number 3, objective number 3 is to develop and implement effective communication, information sharing structures and protocols. And this certainly brings the clubs in and all the way down to the individual members, because we all realize that communication is a two-way street. It's just not a push, but it's also a receive. And if the reception isn't good, then certainly the transmission probably is lacking as well. And so we're going to continue to improve on how we disseminate information to the clubs and how we receive, and to the members, and how we receive feedback as well and respond. one issue with culture and kindness is actually being responsive to the questions and inputs that we get from the members in the clubs. So we're going to work hard on doing that, and we'll take surveys along the way to see how we're doing in that way. Governor Sonny has expressed an interest in putting out a weekly blurb or a blog, or she mentions maybe like a Kiplinger letter, where just a couple three issues that are important to get out right away, and be doing that on a weekly basis. Let's see what else. Keeping our Facebook up to date, our newsletters pertinent and usable. I think when we have one of the best newsletters in the zone for sure. Thanks to our guy's name escapes.
Don Powell.
Don Powell, yeah, he does such a great job with that. And so we also want to, when somebody does something fantastic in the district, we want to acknowledge that with actually sending out some of the old-fashioned snail mail. I think everybody appreciates really getting a letter in the mail that's handwritten, and because they know somebody actually has to take some time to do that. It's not a matter of clicking a set template and hitting send. You actually got to select a card. You got to write something and think about what you're writing and be authentic about it. And so we're gonna do that as well. When somebody we want to recognize somebody or thank somebody, we're gonna use the written word for that. Sonny, you want to expand at all?
Well, this is the place where we also ask people to read their emails, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. One of the things we'll do towards seeing how successful we are is to measure how many people actually open their emails. And that's one thing we really want to encourage people to do. That's one of the ways we disseminate information to the field, as we say in the military, is through our emails. It's very efficient, but it's not effective if you don't open it. And one way that we improve, I think we can improve on that, is to limit the number of emails we send out so that people don't just get inundated, because we're all inundated with emails, spam constantly. And sometimes I'll go through and I'll do quick little deletes, and sometimes I accidentally delete something I shouldn't have. Then I find out about that later. But we will be diligent in making sure that if we send out an email that it's really pithy, as some people used to say, and important to get, and not just nice to know stuff, or just to put out stuff that is important to us, but maybe not to other people. Did I capture that, Sonny?
Two things about that. That's perfect, Bob. Just to mention, pithy is a great word. We don't use that word enough. Sometimes I think, I'm not accusing anyone on this call, but I have seen, I bet you've seen too, messages where people just went on and couldn't get to the point very quickly. And those emails are really hard to read. And so when you're sending an email, see if you can identify your point before you start, and get to it quickly so that we all have the patience to read the whole thing. And then, should you feel the need to reply, think twice before hitting reply all.
Oh, baby, yes.
It may be that it only needs to go back to the sender. You all know what I mean, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and just a little expansion on that as well. When I get irritated with somebody's email, it might, and that's the thing about emails too, is it's hard to express accurately an emotion through email. Very easily misinterpreted. Please don't use capital letters in your emails. It's like being yelled at, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. But anyway, if I get an email that sort of ticks me off, I'll whip one out real quick. But before I hit send, I'll start putting that four-way test on it. And after 2 or 3 edits, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And pretty soon I may not even send it. If I do, it's a lot smaller and a lot less emotional. And so I apply the four-way test to my emails before I send them out. I think that's kept me out of trouble many times. But I do. Sometimes I just hit that send button and I say, "Oh, I wish I hadn't done that."
Right.
But once you
like
send
to
it,
mention
you can't bring it
two
back.
things.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Usually email is not a good way to resolve any kind of issue. If
That's
you
true.
have a problem or a complaint or even a question that seems like it's going to be hard to communicate in emails, pick up the phone. Let's connect with one another and see if we can't resolve these things quickly. Otherwise, they can fester. And kind of along with that, how can I say this? Emails should be used mostly for information transfer rather than for issues. Marshall, what a great chat. Single subject per email is best for most emails. Man, is that ever true? If you have several issues to address, send them separately so they can be addressed separately and then deleted. And update the subject line so that you know exactly what the email is about and can distinguish it from all the other emails that are on the same topic.
Great.
That's really, really wise. What else? Oh, you probably all know this, but there have been studies that show that the words that we say actually account for only 7% of a communication, that 38% is in tone of voice and 55% in body language, which means that when you have email, you've got almost none of what you communicate. If you can get on Skype or Zoom, you have all of it. If you only get on the phone, you at least have the tone of voice. And okay, and there's one other piece, and that is the amount of relationship we have with one another gives us a sense of how much permission we have for people to screw up. If we're in relationship with one another, we're more flexible, more kind, more easygoing. And so getting to know one another and be kind to one another can really make a difference in avoiding conflicts. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to say is I've asked our peace committee to serve our district as conflict resolution / mediators. So we have resources available should we need them. I've got a couple of chats here, Jeff. Do you want to take those?
Right, from Laura. Also remember to take any emotions you may put into the email when you read it. Very true.
Yeah.
And from Bianca, use BCC when sending messages to the group. So that's the blind copy option.
Thank you. Thanks, Bob. I'm done.
Okay, thanks. Just one little other tidbit that I've learned is if it's a quick question requesting a quick response, I put the question in the subject line.
Yep.
And then, it's right there. And all you do is open it up and answer, and it's done.
Great.
Okay, so we move on to number 4. All right, so the next 3, 4, 5, and 6 have to do with our essential elements that you're going to learn more about today and tomorrow that are essential in having a vibrant club, an effective club. First one of this is branding. And many of you probably understand now that branding and public image are one and the same. So our goal and objective for branding is to employ all methods of branding to build awareness of our impact and brand within our clubs and our communities, so we can improve and grow Rotary, the image of Rotary, both on a club level and on a district and an international level. The way our way we're going to measure that is by the end of Rotary year 22-23, we'd like all clubs to qualify for the public image section, however that reads at the time, in the Rotary citation. This is very important. Branding, everybody has a brand. Everybody has a brand, whether it's positive or negative. And there's internal branding and there's external branding. And we're going to go into this a lot more when we get into the essential elements and how they affect each other, the three elements. So Rotary International has got a branding center online, and it's all of the brands, all the consistent Rotary images and brands are there, and all clubs should be using those now. So we have a consistent image within and without. We want to promote Rotary both locally and internationally through our branding and how we put that out in our letters and publicly with banners, possibly even with billboards. We like to enlist all methods of media to promote our brand. And you'll see how that is going to affect the other two elements, which are membership and foundation. Sonny, you want to expand on that, or anybody else have any questions? We're going to be hitting this pretty hard later on.
Yeah, tomorrow, yes, tomorrow morning we'll be covering these last three in great depth.
Yeah. Any other questions, Jeff, you see?
Nope.
Chats? Okay. Let's go on to number 5. Second of our essential elements is membership. I know everybody's tired of getting hit around the head about membership, but it's critical. Everybody knows that the old saying, if you're not growing, you're dying. And in Rotary, that's almost literal. So our objective is to grow membership, net. Governor Sonny's objective for her year while she's in place is to have the same number of members as she had when she came on board. Around 2312 is what we have up there now. And then I'm going to try and grow. I'm going to try and build on that by adding another 50 members through my year, and we'll continue to grow, build on that. But the idea of having as many at the beginning of the year as the end of the year, the goal is to stem the erosion or the reduction in membership. Stem that first, and then build on top of that. We're going to do that through having an effective membership plan that we're going to implement and train the clubs on, and identify key resources to execute the plan, and use innovative methods to grow not only our members but our clubs. We've been talking about Rotaract. That's in many areas that's been a very, very effective way of growing the membership within the districts. Something that just changed now with regard to Rotaract is Rotaract does not have to be associated with a club anymore. A club does not have to mentor or sponsor a Rotaract club. A Rotaract club could start themselves up on their own. They're members of Rotary, but only in a Rotaract framework. Again, Rotary National is doing a lot of things to make it easier to grow Rotary. And we need to embrace that and implement that on a district and club level.
And just a note, Laura has posted a chat mentioning that we aren't just adding warm bodies here. This is about increasing membership, people of action.
Exactly. I used to be in sales with clients, and early on when I was trying to build my clientele, the people I brought on, if they had a pulse and they had some money, they qualified. But later on, when I became more successful, I looked for people that were a good match for me, and that's what we should be looking for: people that are a good match for your club. Somebody once said that you don't say, "Would you like to join our club?" Is what can you do to help our club? What are you bringing to us? Not only what can we do for you, but what can you do for us? It's got to be a good match. It's a two-way street.
And we will be talking more about this tomorrow morning also.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay.
Excuse me. Okay, let's go on to number 6 here. And that has to do with the foundation. Grow across all foundation programs. And this is where Rotary really has its impact. With membership and branding, we can improve our contributions to the foundation and have an impact locally, regionally, and globally. The way we'll measure this is by the end of the third year, and this is a 3-year plan, 3-year strategy. Is that by the end of this, we would like to have every Rotarian in the district supporting the foundation. And we do that through building awareness of everybody in the district of what effect their dollars to the foundation actually has. Not just sending money off and not knowing how it's used and how it can come back and be leveraged locally. Excuse me.
Well, would you like someone else to take over?
No, but you can go ahead and expand on this.
No, I won't do it in great detail because I know we have something else to get to and we will be looking at this tomorrow. But basically, education is the key, of course, and remembering that foundation is our avenue to service as well as to brand and to attracting people of action.
Yes. Yes.
So more about this to come.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, Jeff, let's go on to our last one. Objective 7 is to cultivate and motivate leaders. Basically, to expand our bench, deepen our bench of leadership within our district. And so we want to be able to grow leaders within our clubs such that they'll be able to step up when asked into the leadership roles and effectively continue to grow district and grow Rotary. We have great tools available to us as far as public speaking goes. Kit Turpin has volunteered to have a public speaking club. Rotary International has partnered with Toastmasters. And so we're able to, for members to join Toastmasters under the auspices of Rotary International and grow their public speaking abilities there as well. And we always want to ask current leaders to foster and to grow people that they would like to bring up to replace them. Every committee chair should have a plan to grow their replacement. So the growth, the committees continue to operate effectively in those transitions. And so that's our last goal, is to cultivate and motivate our members. So we always have a good deep bench of leaders to step in as we continue to move on and get new ideas. You know, I was a scoutmaster for 4 years, and I enjoyed doing it, but I stepped down because the ideas were starting to get a little stale. And it's always nice to get new blood in that has new ideas and again help Rotary grow at the district club level as well.
Real quickly, because I know we have something else to do here. I just want to say this goes not only for the district committee chairs, but also for the assistant governors and also for us, those of us who are presidents. Keep an eye out for the people in your club who you see are emerging leaders and find ways to encourage them, to mentor them, to plug them into the district where that's appropriate, or put them in positions of leadership within your own club. We tend to call on the same wonderful people all the time, and that's actually not what we want to do now.
And Mr. Jeff, please consider using the Rotary Leadership Institute as an opportunity for people who are in Rotary to grow in their leadership skills that will help them in their Rotary opportunities as well as professional opportunities.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So those are our strategic goals for the next 3 years. This fall, I will be convening another long-range planning committee where we'll review these and make modifications and maybe add another year on and maybe add some goals and retire some.
Yep.
So Sunny, I'll turn it back to you.
Okay, thank you. We just got a chat from Jen Dresser, which is really cool. We had a new member who went to RLI. She's motivated and is now president-elect
Yay.
next year. That's
Excellent.
a great testimony. Thank you, Jen. All right, thank you, Bob. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. It was a really excellent planned meeting. We'll be doing another one in the fall. And now we have one more section we want to share with you before we turn you loose for lunch. And that is Dan Garrison and Bob will lead us in a discussion of creating our culture and being leaders in creating a culture of kindness. Dan, may I turn it over to you?
Once I get unmuted there. First of all, every organization has a culture. And that's defined by the interactions, the actions, and beliefs within that organization. The biggest single factor in establishing a culture is the leadership of that culture. And that's why you are the targets of this. And that includes me. By establishing or maintaining and increasing a culture of kindness and respect, we are the ones who take the lead in that. It's our interactions that other people watch. Fred Pomeroy can tell you, the strongest form of teaching is modeling. When you tell a kid, do what I say, not what I do, it ain't gonna work, folks. Because what you do is a much stronger form of teaching. In doing that, we stop and think. We use some magic in it, for one. Some of the magic comes from, you know, where abracadabra comes from. It actually comes, instead of a made-up word, it comes from ancient Aramaic. And what it means is, what I say, I create. And that's what we're trying to do, is what we say and what we do and how people perceive what we do is what we are trying to create. Create a culture of kindness and respect. Sonny, you want to add? Come on.
I don't know what I would add to that, Dan. I think it kind of sums it up, doesn't it? You know, we all can recognize when it isn't present, you know, when we've not been treated with kindness and respect, but maybe we aren't always acknowledging the times when we are. So part of being a leader is reinforcing what works, acknowledging the kindness you see around you. And the other part is finding ways to gently turn the tide when you see it not working. Dan, we have the Rotary four-way test signpost to share with people.
Okay, great.
Okay.
You all know about the 8th graders four-way test essay contest. The homepage for that initiative on our Club Runner website has a wonderful signpost. There it is.
And that signpost is, you can see the respect, ethics, integrity, and honesty. One of the parts we don't do very often in our local communities is the business ethics that I think is a part of Rotary's mission that we neglect a lot of times in terms of getting a message out. What's respect? How do you show respect? I had an uncle who his thing, he had a 3rd grade education, but he'd say, Butch, you can pretend to care, but you can't pretend to be there. And to show up, not just talk, is what he was talking about. And that we deal with things honestly. It's not common now to have a lot of that in the interactions in our world, because so much is coded with what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, and euphemisms being used for terms. Doesn't mean harsh. It means truthful. Bob, do you have anything to add, Bob?
One thing I want to interject, if I may, while Bob's unmuting himself. In a pandemic situation, although in crises in general, people pull together, in a pandemic, it's not always as automatic. Here we are separated in our homes and concerned about the well-being of the people closest to us. We tend sometimes, according to the experts, to pull apart somewhat. And we've witnessed some behaviors like hoarding that are symptomatic of that. So we have a special role, I think, as Rotarians to counteract that, to build the bridges, to reach out to people who are isolated or afraid, and remind them that they're not alone, and to remind them that we're all in this together, and to offer whatever support we can. So this is not at all an academic conversation. This is going to be, I say, at the heart of who we are going forward.
I think the only thing I'd like to add is the concept of recognition. Everybody likes to be recognized for doing something, whether it's what they're meeting expectations or exceeding. I think we do a good job of that in Rotary. But the more we can do that, even you see somebody doing something good, not only recognize in private, but recognize even more so in public, at a meeting or in front of other people. And that really, I think will help in areas of retention and all the other areas that we want to do to help grow Rotary. But I really try hard to recognize folks whenever possible. That's all.
Honey, we have a question on chat from Michael. Do you see it?
Yes, Michael, what a great question. Is there a plan for everyone to meet face to face after this crazy time ends? Michael, not yet, but man, we want to create that, don't we? It's so evident that this is better than nothing, that seeing your faces is a joy, and getting together will also be great. We'll find an opportunity, and I think we probably want to get together with the governor line and see what we can invent. Thank you for the question.
Okay. Sunny?
So, yes.
Do you have any additions?
I'm not sure. I think we've actually talked about most everything we wanted to discuss here. Remember what Dan said at the beginning, what our illustrious PDG Dan said, that everybody has a culture. We all have a culture, and we don't always take the opportunity to author it. We sometimes just take what devolves. So we're people of action. We're going to invent the culture we want, and we're going to make sure that our actions are consistent with it. So we wanted to share with you a document that was created by the assistant governors when they were looking at the question of what kind of culture do we want to invent. And this is it. We don't pretend that this is everything that one might say about the culture we want, because there's so much. But cooperation, truth, and the four-way test, service above self, let these sink in. Diversity, meaning embracing and welcoming people who are different from us. encouragement, appreciation, kindness, and fun. If we only had those qualities mark everything we do, people would be flocking to us, yes? People will be flocking to us. And then there's several that got added when we did a makeup session for those who missed AGLG, and they included open, inviting, can-do spirit, collaboration, making a difference, being bigger than the individuals, and impacting, being people of action. So would anyone care to say anything about this culture that we're inventing? Anything you see that particularly strikes you? Anything you think we've left out?
Laura has her hand raised. Laura, go ahead.
Are you there?
Sorry, had to unmute.
I know.
So I really love this, and I really like the think part of it. I mean, you know, I always tell people in our club and out of our club that I always like to run through the 4-way test before I do anything. And I think adding this think to it as well will be very helpful for our clubs. I really think if we do what you guys have been saying, we do the modeling, we do the actually, you know, making sure that everybody understands these values for our club, and we put that out for all of ourselves and our communities, that it will increase our membership, because people do in times of crisis and at other times, but they do in times of crisis certainly flock to places that make them feel like they're doing something worthwhile, like there is a good value to what they're doing, and that they're able to give back to their community. So this is wonderful.
Thanks, Laura. That's really nice. Thank you, Kathy Fuller, for your chat. There's probably one other piece we could mention here, and that is, because we're human beings, we may screw this up sometimes. So I think it's important for 2 things. One is to be compassionate with people when they forget. We can always remind one another, give one another permission to remind ourselves if we forget. And the other is, if we find ourselves forgetting, if we do something which we recognize in hindsight didn't follow this culture we mean to create, it's really okay to acknowledge that. You know, to say, you know, I goofed, this is not me, this is not what I'm committed to. I'm starting anew. I apologize. These are all permissible things to say, which I assert are part of the modeling. You know, modeling means how do you deal with it when it isn't perfect also.
It's okay to forgive yourself.
Yes.
Yes. We have a hand raised from Bobby Hockaday. Bobby, go ahead and ask your question.
Well, it's not so much a question, so much as a comment on the last aspect of the culture reinventing, the fun part. In the Tugendcarry Club, every time we do the 4-way test, we added our little a 5th portion to it, where is it fun?
Yep.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Yep.
That's spreading around the district. We're all allowed to steal that one. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I give credit to Marjorie McKenzie.
All right, thank you.
Sunny, do we want to show the core values for a minute, or at least
We have a couple of quick chats with Tony and Kathy are agreeing, and Jen made the observation that culture change is one of the hardest things to do in an organization, so we need to be patient. That's a very nice point.
Yep.
Nobody's allowed to give up. Okay.
Patience ought to be in that top list.
Yes.
You're right. Patience. We should put patience up here. We'll add that. Thank you. Yes, let's show the core values real quick, Jeff. I know we're running out of time here. So we have this handout in your materials for you to glance at. This is Rotary's 5 core values, which have been the same for decades. They are, okay, Bobby, thank you. Be like the crew of Galaxy Quest, never give up, never surrender. Some of you will know what he's talking about. If you haven't seen Galaxy Quest, that's something to do in your spare time. So our core values: service, fellowship, diversity, integrity, leadership. They've stayed the same because they work. They really do form what we're about. And it's probably a good place to leave ourselves. Dan, do you have any final comments before we adjourn on this section?
I think we've covered it.
I think we have. Everyone else, anything? Jen?
Well, everyone, we are done with PETS session number 1. We start up again 1 o'clock Mountain Time, including past RI Vice President Greg Podd's presentation on membership. So we will see you all hopefully at 1 o'clock Mountain Time this afternoon.
And then we'll be talking about all the kinds of meetings we can have right now and in the future. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for this conversation.
Thank you.
See you soon.
All right, thank you.
Bye for now.